What's up, everyone? Welcome to episode 231 of the Idiotic Sports Talk. I'm your host, Liam Gavin, coming to you live from my bedroom. And today, I just want to recap the Cowboys season, how it felt being a Cowboys fan in this season, just all the drama that took place. The Cowboys season has been over for well over a month, but the official NFL season ended this past Sunday. I really have no words for the Cowboys season. I mean, anger, distraught, pain, agony, disappointment. I mean, the list really just goes on, and it dates back to the offseason, where their biggest signing was bringing back Zeke Elliott, who doesn't have much tread on the tires at all. They signed Eric Kendricks, who had a pretty decent year, but another aging player that his tread is running out on those tires. And then let's not forget the Dak Prescott and CeeDee Lamb shenanigans with their contracts. I mean, if Jerry Jones signs them on time like how he's supposed to, instead of right before the season starts, a day before their first game, they would have saved them $20 million and they could have got more players that they needed. And it goes back to week one. I mean, they completely blow out the Browns. Turns out the Browns were one of the worst teams in the league. You feel a little good about yourself. Then you go and face the Saints. The Saints blow your doors off, and they're one of the worst teams in the league, it turns out being. Then Baltimore comes and visits. They gash you alive in the run game. Oh, and you know, Derrick Henry, that guy they signed in the offseason, yeah, he wanted to be a Dallas Cowboy. He said himself he'd love to be a Cowboy. He grew up a Cowboys fan. He's from Texas. And Jerry Jones said, we don't have Derrick Henry money. So you know what Derrick Henry does? He runs all over the Cowboys, gashes them alive. So then week 4, they go on and play the Giants. They beat the Giants, but the Giants are the worst team in the league, so you have to beat them. And then you go on the road to Pittsburgh. You beat them surprisingly, and Pittsburgh was 3-1 at the time. They turned out to be 10-7. I know they had Justin Fields throwing the ball, but still, they were 3-1 with Justin Fields playing. And the Cowboys win a surprising game. Week 6 rolls around, and this is where it gets really, really ugly. This is where it goes, and it completely tanks. They play the Lions at home. They get blown out by 40, just completely ugly. The Lions are disrespecting them on the field, throwing all these stupid trick plays, just bad. And then you got the bye week. You can't play the bye week, and even if they did, the Cowboys would probably lose. They come out of their bye, they go to San Francisco, and no matter what, we can't beat San Francisco at all. It doesn't matter what happens. You go and play San Francisco, you lose, and that's exactly what happened. They lost a close one, but they were getting blown out this whole time. Came back and made it a game, but they still lost. Then they go to Atlanta. They lose to Atlanta as well, right before Atlanta completely falls off a cliff. They were looking pretty good, and they beat the Cowboys, which results in Dak Prescott tearing his hamstring. He's gone for the year. So then they go and play the Eagles. The Eagles completely stomp them. The Texans stomp them a week later. And then they play the Commanders, and surprisingly, the Commanders were red hot, and surprisingly, the Cowboys go on the road and win that one in a very close, dramatic fashion. On Thanksgiving, they get the Giants at home, beating them. So they start going on this little run. They play the Bengals. They block a punt, pick it up and fumble it, which gave the Bengals life, and the Bengals win. So that should have been another win for the Cowboys. They wind up beating the Panthers and the Bucks. The Bucks are a playoff team. So they go on this little heater, and then they play Philadelphia in Philadelphia, get blown out by 30-something points. They play Washington the final week. They lose in the final second on a touchdown, and it just describes the Cowboys season. I mean, there's literally nothing good that came from this season at all. I mean, we have an incompetent owner in Jerry Jones who does nothing. They have a lackluster coach in Mike McCarthy, who it's looking like he'll be back. They have poor player performance. They had tons of injuries. Dak Prescott being an injury. Micah Parsons being out for 4 games. DeMarcus Lawrence being out since week 4. Just so many injuries. Trayvon Diggs. Deron Bland missed half the season. Just so many key pieces that were injured. And that just happens all the time. And the thing is, whenever the Cowboys get injured, the season's over because they don't have the personnel. They don't have the heart for these guys that could step up and make plays in others' absence. So it was just a really rough season overall. Just so bad to see my Cowboys go through that, and it really bothers me, and it leaves me with question marks. What the hell's going to happen this offseason? What's Jerry Jones going to do? I mean, he runs his mouth off and says the stupidest things, and nothing gets done. He says, we're going all in. We don't go all in at all. There's just complete asinine running that franchise. I don't have much hope for next season, but we'll see how it goes. I mean, we finished 7-10. On the bright side, 3 of the 7 wins were against playoff teams, so I guess that's something. Another positive side was Rico Dowell rushed for 1,000 yards. After we had a really terrible running game the first half of the season, it started to get going. He was the first undrafted player to ever rush for 1,000 yards, which is cool. But they should have just gave him the rock since week 1 consistently instead of trying to get cute and give it to Zeke, who's now signed with the Chargers in the playoffs. So I wish the best of luck to him. He's going to do really good in that hardball system. But it's just crazy. It's like you use Ezekiel Elliott inside of the 5, it's from the goal line to the 5-yard line. That's it. And he's not an every down back anymore. It's just the same thing with this team over and over again. We try to bargain shop into free agency. We get older players that are past their prime. It just never works out. So I don't have much hope for next year. I didn't have much hope this year. I said the ceiling was 10-7. The floor was 7-10. And guess what? They hit the floor. They hit rock bottom at 7-10. So that's it for my rant. Thank you all for listening to me. You know, I'm still going to be a Cowboys fan till the day I die. I bleed that blue and silver. And yeah, let's go Cowboys. DC4L. Thank you all for watching. Remember to subscribe to this YouTube channel. Follow me below on my Instagram. Take care and have a wonderful night.